So, Kingdom Rush Alliance. This is really weird to take in. I've watched the trailers a good couple times. I am definitely out of my tower defense game right now, so I'm hoping that this will bring me back, but I've been thinking about this a whole lot. This has probably been the darkest age for fans right now, because I see like nobody talking about or playing any of these games, and I've not even really shown much interest in doing a video on any of it recently. I will probably get back to that soon, but I don't know, I think I'm too distracted by other games to be really focusing on tower defense right now. I'm sure I'll get back to it once this releases, but that's gloomy and I don't really want to talk about that. I just want to focus on the trailer at hand. So we have this, 2 hero showcases, and some alpha gameplay, and overall first impressions are interesting. So I just wanted to add in my own input based on all the weird things going on in my mind regarding this. So we'll probably start with the least interesting part, that being the whole storyline. It's a bit of a cop-out and what I would expect from this sort of faction-based narrative. This is how a lot of these plots end up going. It's not a major concern since it's already like very basic fantasy, so it fits right in, but it's just kind of there for me. Although I guess we do get to see more of Veznon, so that's always a positive. Although I do like how the gameplay incorporates this idea. You get 2 heroes, but also a cross between all the different sort of tower styles we got through the years. I also think it's hilarious that we get to use necromancers again, considering how neutral they apparently were. I also like that some of the heroes are in this weird gray area, or a combination of both heroic and villainous factions. But so far, the most important thing is going to be the gameplay. That's not really a shocker to anyone, and it looks pretty smooth already. The enemies don't seem all that remarkable yet. Matter of fact, I don't really like this specific villain faction just to begin with, but despite all that, they'll probably become more interesting down the road. The towers seem pretty standard, although I do like that they're not really overdoing it. While I do like what Vengeance was trying to go for, there was a bit of an unfortunate consequence of making that many towers, and it's that you make a bit of a meta. And if that meta isn't really all that good, basically everyone loses in that scenario. I'm pretty sure you've heard this talked about before somewhere, and it's because it's a pretty big issue when it comes to balancing.
You want the game to push you to your absolute limit and force you to experiment and find out what works, and what sucks is when you find out what actually works just isn't that fun.
I can't pick favorites right away, but conceptually Anya is a hilarious hero idea. She is like the ultimate neutral force, just kind of being a hunter doing her own thing, and representing 2 very opposing factions the same way this game in general already is. I love that they did that. I imagine she will be as good as Dante and Lucretia were, because Ironhide has been getting really good at balancing their heroes recently, so that's something to look forward to. And on the thought of looking forward, I just wanted to put in a few hopes and predictions for what this game will have to offer for us. Now, a lot of people would want a fast forward button, but really I would prefer shorter waves altogether. See, with shorter waves, the combat goes by quicker and you have to make better decisions during that time. And also, you would probably get less cash calling in waves early, so you would have to spend better. Well, that's the idea anyway. No matter what, I just kind of prefer faster waves in general, no matter how they do it, because I really do not want players to waste hours of their lives at a time replaying stages just to find out what works. This is a bit of a weird idea. I don't know how this would work. Since there's 2 heroes, it would be wild to think about how some stages could have 2 bosses. Just imagine trying to balance that out. I would love a more temporary upgrading system for the heroes. Now, I don't mind how the latest 3 games did it, but really, when you have permanent upgrades on every single hero, there's no real reason to try out different ones, since they're already just basically at the start. Spending a bunch of time on a filler stage on easy mode just to level up a hero you're not even guaranteed to use all that much in the future is a bit of a waste of progress when you really think about it. I would love a sort of post-game revolving around all these sorts of conflicts regarding how Dinas and Veznon are working together now, because you might have seen in some of the opening cinematics that a lot of the armies are having trouble adjusting to this or trusting either of them. Maybe that could be a cool excuse to see some previous heroes and bosses who survived. I would love to see them take the Mario and Luigi approach to innovating this game, the way there's a very clear formula every time, but they add just enough of a spin to really make it feel super different without, well, without alienating basically everyone. I bet that the ending will have the armies conflicting with each other, like when you beat a boss in Castle Crashers during co-op and only one knight can survive. I'd imagine something like that, like you would just have to pick either Dinas or Vesnon, and then you'd get a different ending based on that. I know that's a weird idea to think about, but there's only a few ways that this truce can really end when you look at it again. And honestly, I just want this to be at least okay, because this has been a bit of a rough time for Ironhide with Junk World and Iron Marines, not even just mentioning Vengeance, and I know a lot of people liked Legends of Kingdom Rush, but it's just not good at all. It is absolutely tedious. No matter what, I will basically play this regardless of anything. It looks so good, and even if it's disappointing, it probably won't even really be bad, because Ironhide's come such a long way. I don't have much else to mention without getting off topic, but I really do hope for the best with this series, because it's not something I grew up with, but it's still something so important to me, and it's something that I connect with a whole lot, and whatever happens, this is going to be like an incredibly influential game, not just for me, but for basically the entire community. So here's to the road to Kingdom Rush Alliance. Take care, and 2 new hero videos coming this year. I'll give you a bit of a visual hint for both of them. Anyways, bye.
You have my permission to die.